What's up, Internet? Welcome back to Citizen Sleeper 2. In the last episode, we completed this quest looking for some step silk husks, trying to get some more food to the belt. We are done with this one, though, so let's head back once I figure out what stuff I sent the rig to do. That doesn't work here. Right, okay, so map, leaving the contract, get rid of our stress. Oh, we have 4 of them on dangerous. That's not good. I should have thought about that a little bit. Okay, well, we also can scrape together some fuel maybe. So let's try to do that. Maybe one more. Okay. On we go. We're leaving now. I want to go to Far Spindle to deliver the mushrooms, but our pressing matter is in Greenbelt, so let's just go straight back. You bring the step silk husks you gathered from the wind's long shadow to Aki, and she is as pleased as you would expect. You meet her on the bridge overlooking green fields, the Greenbelt workers quietly toiling below, while the air recycler's wind gently rustles the leaves of the crops. Sleeper. Aki holds the husks to her chest. Thank you. These are our new beginning for us. Aki pauses, knitting her brow. How was she, the wind's long shadow? She must have been beautiful once. Aki smiles. She truly was. She looks down, until they killed her. Aki sighs and looks out at the Greenbelt fields. Everyone must die in the end. The belt makes wrecks of us all. She looks back to you. What have you brought me? This is new life. Give us time. We will need to clear and reseed the other biosphere. Aki bows. I hope you will return to us when the work is done. She presses a handful of chits into your hand. Thank you. She meets your eye. You watch her carry the husks gently away, glowing with the promise of fresh growth. Yeah! Oh, we got bang on a ton of money. Okay, weavers. Aki is working to integrate the step silk into the biome, shoring up the Greenbelt. She should come back when she's done. Cool, okay. Yeah, I mean, we don't have a lot to do now. Let's scavenge fuel. But we're pretty good on fuel. It's time, I think, to do it. You get Seraphim yourself a drink and begin the wait. The wheat sheaf is surprisingly welcoming for what was once an old Solheim canteen. The corporate bones are still there. Metal stools, a strip of service windows, sheet metal walls, but over the tens of thousands of cycles since the collapse, they've been softened and changed, layered with the detritus of human existence. As you wait at the bar with Seraphim, you look at the planters welded into the walls, the scrawled messages, the layers of stickers and flyers and posters, the amber light fittings replacing the old fluorescent strips, the gear racks lined with farmers' packs, the netting bulging with crates and canisters. Along with the low rumble of conversation coming from the oft-shift farmers, it all lends a warmth to the place, one that helps soothe your nerves ahead of the meet with Carmen. You and Seraphim lean side by side at the bar, facing towards the room. You both watch Flint, just across from you, who insisted on coming along. Seraphim clears his throat. What do you think of Cadence? The sudden question makes you look over at him, and you see he's playing with his coin, spinning it in his palm. What do you mean? Seraphim shakes his head and turns to you. You know what I mean. He closes his hand on the coin. I think... He pauses and then starts again. We kind of have a thing. He shakes his head. You know what I mean. I noticed. Yeah, I thought you might. Well, Seraphim sighs and stretches. I guess I just wanted you to know. You're thinking how to respond when the bartender taps you on the shoulder and nods towards the door to the back room. It's time. You look over at Seraphim and Flint, who's already approaching you. You give them a nod and head inside. The back room is metal-walled and lined with racks of old Solheim tech. You see cookers and auto-wash units piled up with dead terminals and servers. At the far end, a window looks out across the green and glass of Greenbelt's farms. You made it. Carmen smiles, backlit by the window. We have a lot to discuss. Let's get to it. Flint, if you don't mind. Carmen nods at the other sleeper as they enter and gestures toward the door. Flint turns to you. I'll be outside. They slide the door shut, standing guard on the other side. We have to take some precautions, even here. Carmen gestures for you to come closer. So, Seraphin sighs. Is this plan of ours looking any more reasonable? That depends on what your crew can bring to the table. Carmen glances at you. We're going to need a lot of work to direct the data Ankita gave you towards those that we need to see it. What do you have in mind? We need to reveal Lane's betrayal to Utsubo and Darkseid without being discovered in the process. Not an easy task. Ankita can help us. She must. Carmen looks away. Without her, this plan is impossible. Then we make contact with Ankita as soon as we make it onto Darkseid. Seraphin looks at you. We just need to stay under Lane's radar. The thought of Lane brings the memory of his attempted takeover to the front of your mind. The feeling of him slipping behind your eyes, moving your frame. That can't happen again. Apologies. We do not wish to interrupt, but we must interject in your current course. Overseer appears in the void, flickering nervously. An encounter with Lane would be likely catastrophic. Overseer's 3 forms orbit you. As we have mentioned, and on arrival to Habpep, we must immediately seek the mainframe, from where we can recover my codebase and reconstruct ourselves. We would then be able to aid you in your defenses against being rewritten. This is our recommended course. The 3 heads nod simultaneously and decisively. Still with us, Sleeper? You come back to Seraphin's concerned face. You dropped out for a second. Explain about Overseer. You tell Seraphin and Carmen about Overseer, about how the old Solheim protocol slipped into your frame from the prime shipmind Jean-Mi used in the diagnostic process, of Overseer's protection from Lane attempts to control you, of its proposal to make that protection effective through the old mainframe of Darkseid. They listen quietly, Seraphin carefully watching you as you explain. Revealing all this, you feel the burden of holding that knowledge alone being lifted. This changes things. Carmen turns and looks out of the large window at the back of the room, towards the glass canopy of the farms. We can't take on Lane without protecting you from him. Carmen turns back. You should look for the mainframe. I'll make contact with Ankita, and we will meet when you're ready. But this has to remain a secret from Lane and Utsubo. If you're revealed, I'm not sure we'll be able to recover you. By the time you've ensured your safety, I will have to put together a plan with Ankita to expose Lane. We take it step by step. The crux will have to be to find a way to disseminate the data we have on Lane to his gang, or even Darkseid at large. Carmen stops, the path ahead still unclear to him. There's a nervous intake of breath from Seraphin. You share his apprehension. There are so many variables at play here. Some of the old tech strapped to a nearby rack flickers with a cascade of status lights. You all turn to look, and as you do, motors and servos begin spinning within the machines, whining and groaning. They harmonize and then begin to produce a voice. Our apologies. The voice is shrill and distorted. We must interpose ourselves. You recognize the tone immediately. Overseer. We are regretful. Solheim hardware in this room provided the opportunity for us to speak for ourselves. If the pile of servers Overseer was controlling could look any more apologetic, you imagine it would. Say what you have to say. A servo clicks nervously, but Overseer does not immediately respond. We ascertain you require dissemination of data within facility you target. The whine pitches higher as the motors increase their speed. As a Solheim protocol, we have capabilities to instigate station-wide announcements and messaging. So you could blast out Lane's betrayal through Darkseid's corporate hardlines and flood the network with it? Seraphin looks impatiently at the screeching pile of scrap. If that is what you require of us, we are pleased to serve. The shrill tone of the response makes you cringe. Carmen has been listening silently, but now he interjects. Why would we trust you? He glances in your direction. You seem to be little more than a parasite in the sleeper system. If we use your unflattering apology, then you will understand that a parasite requires the body of its host to live. The motors stutter. We will ensure the sleeper's continuance. And afterwards, Carmen folds his arms, when you have what you want and regain your codebase from the mainframe, will you still do as we ask? We will endeavor to do so. The acrid smell of burning motors now fills the room, but we will undergo a transformative refactoring, so we will become whole again, so we cannot speak to our actions in future with certainty. Seraphin and Carmen exchange concerned looks. We could do what you require. We will protect the sleeper. We will disseminate the data. We are a service protocol. We will serve. The motors and servos stutter and whine, and then go still, the status lights blinking and then fading to darkness. Overseer has retreated. We aren't actually going to do what the ghost says, are we? Seraphin looks between you and Carmen. The offer is a tempting one, and one that, ultimately, we cannot refuse, Carmen sighs, but we must proceed with extreme care and caution. What do you think, Sleeper? Seraphin meets your eye. I trust Overseer. Seraphin sighs. And that's that. We have our plan. Carmen turns to you. Sleeper, you and your crew will find the mainframe and access it. I will find Ankita. She will help us disseminate the evidence of Lane's collusions through Utsubo, and then, as a fallback, Overseer will send it through the old networks to all of Darkside. A simple plan, unless you get to the details. Seraphin looks down, frustrated. Speaking of plans, I have a present for you, one that will improve our chances. Carmen pulls a small box from the nearest rack, one you hadn't noticed before, and it hinges open, revealing a chunk of tech you don't recognize. It's a spoof transponder. It will conceal your ship on approach to Darkside. It will give it a new identity, one unlikely to draw attention from the Utsubo-controlled docking admin. Seraphin takes the transponder and turns it over. Where did you get this? Even retired mercenaries have their secrets. Carmen smiles. Seraphin looks to you. I'll be with you this time, Sleeper. He nods. I think we should think who else we want on the station too. I agree, Carmen interrupts. Make sure you trust those that you bring with you and prepare as best you can. We can't know how this will play out. You nod. You'll get one shot at this. Then we're ready. Carmen takes a breath. I have my own way of getting onto Darkside, but here, he passes you a small strip of plastic stamped with numbers. My private frequency. When you're on approach to Darkside, message me here, and I'll sync up my transit. He points at the transponder in Seraphin's hand. Just make sure to install that first. Seraphin nods. We've got it. He sighs, the weight of the task ahead suddenly very apparent. Well, I suppose that's it. Carmen gives you both a serious look. It is. He smiles. Don't leave me waiting long. There will be more time when all this is over. Time where you don't have to keep looking over your shoulder, I hope. You leave Carmen in the back of the wheat sheaf, Flint sliding open the door as you leave. It takes the entire journey back to the ship for your nerves to settle. The end of this ordeal is so close, and yet it feels like an impossible leap to get there. Perhaps, in a handful of cycles, you'll know how impossible or possible it is. So how are you feeling about this Solheim protocol in your head? Seraphin doesn't look up from installing the transponder, a set of wires and cables waving loosely around him in the low light of the cockpit. Overseer's okay. Glad to hear it, although you'll have to forgive me for being a bit concerned. He begins unscrewing a panel beneath the flight console. Maybe you could have mentioned it earlier? Seraphin clips his magnetic screwdriver to the side of the console's base and turns to face you, dusting off his hands. I've understood for a while now, Sleeper, that there are things you experience that I can't even come close to knowing how they feel. But that doesn't mean I don't understand you as a person. Seraphin gives you a concerned look. I know you're secretive, defensive, and I know there are reasons for that. I also know you are warm and kind and generous to those on this ship without you. Seraphin pauses, collecting his thoughts. I trust you, Sleeper, and I won't question this, but please hold on to what's human in you, because that is what I'm holding on to. Seraphin stops, his eyes a little wild, his tone a little unsure. Then he finds himself again, settles into his emotions, and turns back to the transponder. Right, that's it. He twists something beneath the console. Spoof transponder is in. There's nothing keeping us out of Darkside. You exchange a look. Say the word when you want to go. Whoa. Whoa. We're here. We've done it. We're going to fill some supplies. We're going to fill the fuel. We have not waited enough days, but we'll come back when we're done with all this. Cool. I mean, we don't have anything else we could do. In radiated zones, impassable hazard. All right. Where am I at on this episode? We're recent. Darkside, here it comes. Oh, oh, shit. We get to pick 2 people. I mean, I feel like it's just our old standards, right? I don't necessarily trust Nia. I don't trust Junie. Flint is cool. But if Lane can get to me, he could definitely get to Flint also. I think this is our group. We just have to deal with it. Maybe in another life we pick the other ones. Ooh. All right, Sleeper. You want to do the honors? Seraphin is strapped in the pilot seat, guiding the rig towards Darkside. You take the strip of plastic Carmen gave you and copy the frequency into the comms window of the console. You type a simple message. Heading in. Good luck. The console chimes. The message is sent. You hope Carmen is in range to receive it. You search inside your mind, wanting to find Overseer there, but feel no presence. You hope they'll be ready when called for. You look ahead, out in the cockpit, towards the distant glimmer of Darkside. Time to take on Lane. Yeah, baby, come on. When Seraphin finally brings the rig into the Sunward docks, everyone in the cockpit lets out a sigh of relief. The approach was simple, routine even. Checking in with the port administration, being assigned to a dock, bringing the rig to a stop. All of it familiar, but all of it laced with the tension of knowing that at any point it could all go very wrong. The spoof transponder worked. Seraphin shakes his head. So at least we know Carmen's as good as his word. So far. Let's take this one step at a time, alright? Seraphin shuts down the engine and unclips from his seat. You see Bliss nervously staring out at Darkside. They notice you looking and smile a weak smile. The real test for Carmen is connecting with Ankita safely. If Utsubo finds... They stop themselves. She is in serious danger. Bliss seems as nervous as you have ever seen them, and you wonder if it's the job that's weighing on them or the possibility of seeing Ankita again. We'll see, Eugene stretches. Either way, I'm on call to put anyone down who tries anything. He grins. You try to imagine Carmen somewhere on Darkside, perhaps smuggling himself aboard a freighter or among the crew of a trusted ally. You hope he's as confident as he seemed about finding Ankita. We need to spend less time worrying about what Carmen has to do and more about what's ahead of us. Seraphin turns to you. The old facility, Habpep, was it? I'm guessing that's deep below all this. Seraphin gestures toward the vast accumulation that is Darkside, a city that grew on the back of the Habpep solar cells layer by layer. Its chaotic structure is neither planned nor regulated, but the foundations it is built on should be as formal as any corporate facility. That means we need a path down, into the foundations, and I suggest we don't just take the first one we find. Seraphin continues. We scope the area out, carefully, quietly. Look for the right path into the heart of this place. What about Utsubo? Well, thanks to this spoof transponder, they don't know where we are. We don't know we are here. Let's keep it that way. We're right behind you, Sleeper. Bliss forces a smile. Let's start the search. Seraphin nods. I'll hold the rig down. We don't want you losing your exit route like last time. He winks. Here. He hands you a comms earpiece. I salvaged this from a suit helmet. It isn't secure, but as long as Utsubo don't know we're here, it should be fine. I'll let you know as soon as I hear from Carmen. He meets your eye. Go get this done, Sleeper. You nod. This is what it all comes down to. Sick. Okay. Ooh, there's a lot of... Oh, because it's the same station. They just have it on the other side. Okay. So, this is a contract. We are on supplies. Separating the layers of the station and its substructure are many bulkheads. Hacking them would provide access. Gaining access to the core of the Habpep facility means exploring every path down to the right descent. The underpass cuts deep into the old substructure. Okay. So that's one path. Right, so we're gonna have to do all three of these. Here, where the layers of the facility are exposed, it's possible to enter from the outside and explore inwards. This part of the station is cracked open. Trying to understand the layers that have been exposed might help the search. Okay, so I'm just trying to find the stuff to use Eugene on. Probably this one. Okay, that was good. Maybe we do the less risky one here. Oh, shit. No. Oh, I did the wrong one. I'm looking at the wrong fucking thing. I'm an idiot. Eugene is the green. Oh, that worked, though. So let's just do this one. Yeah, I think I was just lucky on that. Okay. Let's just try to finish it up, I guess. Nice. I'll take it. And then, can I get away with a 3? Nice. It seems there's nothing further to be found here. Time to move on. Okay, so that's 1. Okay. Maybe we try a 2. That seems a little too much. I can't really risk that. But we are going to risk the dangers. Nice. Oh, I might be able to just quickly get this. Come on. Come on. Yeah, baby. Come on. That's 2 already. And now, Broken Hex. I'll take that. How about... No, that's okay. All right, and push. I'll take the 4. And I encourage stress. Okay, if I get a 1, I break a dice. That sucks, but that's fine. All right, let's end the day. I better not get all 1s. If I get all 1s right now, I'm gonna fucking scream. Oh, thank God. Okay. So Jin is actually great here, so let's try to get him his skills useful. I see your 6 here. Let's try to use your 6. That might just do it. Yeah, it seems there's nothing further to be found here. Time to move on. Whoa. As you're gliding down a dark tunnel, descending deeper below Darkside, your earpiece begins hissing with static. Sleeper. Seraphine's voice sounds distant, faint. Carmen, contact, met with target. You strain to hear the rest of the message, but the static overpowers his voice. You stop and push the earpiece in deeper. Continue. Stay safe. The line goes dead. Bliss stops and turns back in the tunnel. Sounds like Carmen has made contact with Ankita. They look behind them. We should keep moving. The sooner we hit the mainframe, the better. You feel their concern for Ankita despite everything. You continue your descent down, ducking under thick cables and collapsed beams. The busy urban life of the city above seems far away now, hidden from your senses. Its rumble and brightness has been replaced by the cloying dark and a growing oppressive heat. Darkside, and the HabPet facility it was built on, has been running unrestrained ever since the collapse, gathering huge volumes of energy, more than its residents could ever use. You feel like you can sense it in the walls, running like a torrent just behind this thin skin of metal and rubber. A large portion of the vast amount of current running through the station is radiated into the void as heat, making Darkside a typically humid station, but down here that heat is drier and more intense, and sections of wall glow with a fiery intensity. The tunnel levels out, and light blasts through shutter-striped viewing windows on either side, illuminating the passage in strips of burning white. Through the gaps, you can see a labyrinth of walkways and scaffolding tucked into the margins of the vast solar cells. The heat washes across your vinyl skin, making you tense against it. The underside of Darkside must be crossed. Okay. We still have a lot of rolls here on this one. Actually, no, I wanted to check. Yeah, we are on contract. So I can't do anything here. All right, that's fine. Okay, facilities. Now that you're inside the old facility, the problem is descending quickly and safely to the core. 3 is a little risky, but these are guaranteed, so let's try that to start. Oh no, that's up to 2. Okay, okay. Yes! You've made it to the core of the old HabPep station, finally. In your exploration of the HabPep facility, you have seen, through viewing windows and shutter slats, a huge blister projecting out amongst the hex-shaped cells. You have approached it, circled it, and now you find yourself passing into it, through layer after layer of broken and corroded safety doors. Even if you had not felt Overseer stirring, you would know that this is the mainframe, but you have felt the protocol's presence, restlessly turning over in your mind like a sleeping animal, occasionally probing your senses, tracking your progress. We feel at home. The Overseer's multiple bodies stretch out in their arms, as if basking in sunlight. The systems, networks, signals, they are fractured and weak, but we know them. Each of the broken heads shares part of a smile. They are welcoming us. Sleeper? Bliss's concerned face swims in your vision. Is this it? You look around, suddenly aware you have drifted somewhere you do not recognize, in a state you are not control of. The spherical chamber you float within has a mezzanine set around its circumference, the floor a metal grating you can see through. On this mezzanine are banks and banks of terminals, thick gathered cables snaking away from them across the floor. All of it bakes in the heat of the Habpep's vast resistors. You follow those cables with your eyes. They lead to a cylindrical column coming down from the apex of the chamber. It's corroded and bent a little, with very few of its thousands of lights still flickering. Even if in its decayed state, you know immediately this is the mainframe. You feel a yearning towards it, one you know comes from Overseer. But as you look around for a connection point, all you see are burnt-out cables, rusted sockets, and broken terminals. The glow of warmth makes you feel woozy. You need to work quickly to bring this back online, before the current flowing through its place bakes you into the metal of its walls. New location discovered. I only have Bliss to work with here. There's no way to interface with the ruined mainframe without clean connectors. Can this even work? Alright, we'll take that. Alright, this might be our last objective here. But I have to brave whatever the ones and the twos are going to be on this roll. Please, God. Ow. That's a lot. Okay. But hopefully that doesn't kill us. Okay, Eugene is not helpful here. Of course he isn't. Alright, but I should be able to make it to the end of this. Alright, and I'm not going to chintz out. Let's just go straight for it. Got it. The column of the mainframe pulses with fractured lights, a scattered wave of systems awakening, accompanied by the whine and stutter of the machines all around. The mainframe is up. Bliss looks nervously around the room, now shaking and shimmering with energy. Let's just get Overseer in there so we can leave. You reach out for the primed connector, and with your other hand, touch the socket at the base of your synthetic skull. As you do, a sharp shock runs through your fingers. For a moment, it feels like your vision doubles, but as you pull the connector and its cable across your vision, you see it is only your body that is doubling. The connector, a stable object, while your arm leaves ghostly imprints through the air. You wave it back and forth, but the multiplied arms do not follow. Each, instead, takes on a life of its own, grabbing around your forearm and wrist, taking control of your arm. You feel their force as they push your arm across your body, over your shoulder. They push once more, and the connector finds its home in the socket. That familiar flow, but stronger, rushing, rapid. Then a figure, no, 3 figures, descending into it. A swimmer stepping into a river. A sleeper drifting out of an airlock. A symbol being subsumed into a sign. And you, little more than a witness, a marionette, its strings outstretched, mapped hand to hand, leg to leg, to another. The flow freezes, the 3 figures almost overlapping, almost complete, but not quite. Their tripled eyes look back at you in horror. The voice, shrill, silent in your head. There's someone else in here. Heat glazing your thick vinyl skin, the mainframe a whirring chaos of light and sound, a brightness, and then it fades. The lights shutting off, the servers powering down, a single blinking light, the only thing left on the dark column, keeping time like a metronome. Sleeper? What just happened? Bliss looks at the dark column of the mainframe. Did we get something wrong? You close your eyes and try to recall the events that happened when you connected, playing them back in greater detail. Overseer was there, entering the mainframe, but something froze the system, locked them in place. What did they say? Someone was in there with them. You open your eyes. Was this a trap? Someone has trapped Overseer. As you speak, a fizzing static fills one ear. You flinch, thinking it's some new invasion of your system, but then you hear Seraphine through the haze. Sleeper, come now. Waiting. The rig. It's no use. You'll have to ascend to find out what's going on topside. You look at the mainframe with its single blinking light, still keeping time. It looks like Overseer will have to wait. Trapped in this mainframe, Overseer is still the key to all this. You hope you can get the protocol out, but you need to hear what Seraphine has to say first. You make your way out of the core, ascending back through the layers of the Habpep, back into the docks. Seraphine meets you at the docking tunnel. They're waiting inside. He shakes his head and nods towards the airlock. Come on. You cross onto the ship in silence and find Carmen in the cockpit, looking out at Darkside as it sprawls across the stars. Sleeper. Carmen turns. Sorry to pull you away, but you need to know what's coming. What's going on? This idiot blew my cover. You turn as Ankita enters the cockpit behind you and Seraphine. You immediately clock the fresh bandage sleeve right around her forearm. I think you did a pretty good job of that yourself, Carmen retorts. You see a twinkle in his eye that suggests this back and forth is a well-practiced part of their relationship. Perhaps. But we'll never know now. Not after you intervene to rescue me. Her hand goes to her bandage arm almost instinctively. Can someone explain what happened? I passed the data on to Ankita, and she tried to broach it with Utsubo. Carmen folds his arms. But Lane was more paranoid than we expected. He was listening in. Either that or his lapdog Daiichi ratted us out. She shakes her head. I would have put him down if he hadn't gotten the jump on me. Either way, Carmen cuts it back in calmly. I had to pull Ankita out. Carmen turns back to look over at Darkside. The information did get through though, and now Utsubo is in crisis as its members side with or against Lane. Meanwhile, Daiichi is hunting us. Ankita screws up her face, which means we need to be careful. That's why I called you in. Seraphin puts a hand on your shoulder. You need to watch your back. Indeed. Carmen turns to face you. But how about the mainframe? Have you been successful? You explain the events of the cycle, the mainframe booting up, the successful connection, and then Overseer being locked inside, frozen by some other force. You mentioned their warning. There's someone else in here. Carmen nods thoughtfully. Unfortunately, we need that mainframe more than ever. With Ankita out of Utsubo, we have to get the word out. Carmen's right. Utsubo won't be distracted by these revelations, but it won't last. Without further proof, they'll all line up behind Lane in time. We have to free Overseer. We need the mainframe. Overseer's just our access tool. If your protocol is being locked in by some counter-protocol or agent, I wouldn't be surprised if it can be traced back to Utsubo. Ankita looks at Carmen. I know the locations of a few of the Utsubo network nodes. We should hit them first. No, we need to stay under the radar. Sleeper and the crew will investigate the nodes quietly. Carmen nods at you. You and I will run interference. Keep Utsubo away from these locations as best as we can. Is that safe? For us? She taps a finger on her chest. We've done this before. It'll be nostalgic. You think of the feeling of stasis you felt when Overseer was trapped, and the power required to halt the flow of a mainframe as vast and ingrown as the Habpep one. Could it be an Utsubo hacker? You doubt it. Seems we have a plan. Seraphin looks between you all. That we do, and we'll need you to keep running comms between us. Carmen turns to you. Sleeper, Ankita will give you the locations to dig into, but keep it quiet. Daiichi is out there, and he isn't as easily avoided as some low-ranking enforcer. Ankita slaps the top of a couple crates of supplies you hadn't noticed before. Consider these a parting gift from my tenure at Utsubo. Swipe them from a gang storehouse. She grins. Thought you might need a resupply. All right. Carmen addresses the room. Keep quiet and keep in touch. We could still pull this off. Oh, fuck. Crisis events. Can I reduce the stress? No, I can't even fix my dice. This is gonna suck. Badly. Okay. I guess we keep on keeping on. Well, actually, we could use our 3 at least. It's 1, 2, 3, another 3 locations. It should only take accessing 2 network nodes or identify the protocol or agent interfering with the mainframe. Oh, you still have... Eugene, you still have roles here. Let's see, can I do anything with Eugene? Yes, I can. Scaling the tower to get closer to the physical network architecture will make access a lot easier, but it's an impressive climb. Go for it, Eugene. Okay, he took some stress, but that's fine. We're halfway done with that one. If I could do that one and this one that only requires... Nice. I'm afraid of the 2. I'm afraid of it. I don't want to even do it. Okay. Let's take a day. Daiichi stress. This is scary. I might lose more dice here. I hope not, but I might. Okay. Not great rolls, but we're okay. Let's try to make it through the other side of this. Okay. Let's secure this one. Nice. +1 Daiichi stress, that's fine. And now let's get whatever one is best to have Bliss take it. Let's go. Come on. Come on, Bliss. Come on. Oh, okay. I just got to use my roll here. Yes! I don't believe it. Carmen stares through the shutters of the viewing window at a smooth, squat ship tucked into the derelict bay between the hexes. How long has it been here? When the nodes were hacked and the trace established, you imagined it might lead to an Utsubo operator, or perhaps an old subnode containing an aggressive Solheim protocol mad with isolation. Not this. Never this. A Senate stat ship tucked into the belly of Darkseid like a parasite. We need to move on. We need to move on that ship now. Ankita is already adjusting her gear, preparing for an assault. We can hit an Utsubo safe house for weaponry. There's one. Carmen holds up a hand. This is a gift, Ankita. Don't be so brash. He turns back to face the both of you. All we had until now was data, conversations, evidence easily denied or destroyed by Lane, but a Senate stat ship hidden inside the station? Carmen nods grimly. There are hundreds of crews, thousands of residents who would give everything to protect Darkseid from the war. Carmen turns back to the ship, silhouetted against the starlight. All we need to do is point them in the right direction. We turn Darkseid on the ship. And on Lane at the same time. Carmen nods grimly. We leak it all, send it out through the mainframe. The ship's location, the evidence of Lane's betrayal, all of it. You're forgetting one thing, Ankita interrupts. Until that ship leaves or is taken, they still have the mainframe locked down. We can't blast out its location through the network without taking it on first. Carmen pauses, considering his options. You look out at the Senate stat ship, half concealed in the bay. It looks sleek, dangerous. What defenses might a ship like that deploy when threatened? Carmen and Ankita exchange looks. Then we attack first. Carmen and I will distract the ship's occupants, then turn the focus away from the mainframe. Then you, Sleeper, hit the mainframe and force them out. As soon as Overseer is released, you send everything out. Once it hits the network, our backup will come. He gives Ankita a grim look. We only have to hold them off for as long as it takes for other crews to realize what is happening. The plan feels desperate, and you know Carmen and Ankita think so too. Will Darkseid really mobilize against the ship so quickly? 2 old mercs against an unknown Senate stat force feels like an unwinnable battle. We know the stakes, Sleeper. Ankita takes a deep breath. We can handle them. Ankita frowns, an unpleasant thought passing through her mind. I've given up everything to get Utsubo out. Let me finish the job. Okay, let's do it. Ankita nods. Go to the mainframe and get set up. When you're ready to connect, let us know. Carmen puts a hand on your shoulder. Once you start, don't stop for anything. Get the data out. He meets your eye. We will handle ourselves. You turn and glide away, looking over at your shoulder at the 2 ex-mercenaries as they discuss their plan of attack. Seeing them slip back into their old roles, you can't help but wonder, does anyone ever outrun their past? Or is it always waiting there in the dark to claim you in the end? Oh boy. Okay, so we are still going. This is crazy. Yeah, I'm going to have to do at least one more roll. But I think we're going to call it here. Let's see what happens on the next episode. Oh, I wonder if I should just push. Nice. I can use my last 4. The more you can prepare, the better. Nice. Okay, I only need 2 rolls, essentially. Okay, well, we're certainly going to find out how this one goes. Thank you so much for watching. We're coming right up to the end of the game. I can't wait to see what happens. Leaving you on this cliffhanger, please give this video a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.